What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to go into should you be adopting someone else's children? Now, before we get into it, would you please like, would you please share, and would you please subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to grow this channel. This channel will encourage, inspire, uplift people. It will also save the average person a lot of money and save a lot of people a lot of pain and suffering also too. So please like, please share, please subscribe. So let's get into it. Once again, should you be adopting someone else's children? That is the question. Well, first of all, I think it's a very, very good thing from the standpoint, let me clarify it. Adopting someone else's children is a good thing from the standpoint if you are helping a child to get out of the adoption system. Everybody needs love. Everyone needs to be raised up in a very loving and healthy family. And so if you're a person, say like a woman, that may not have had any children, or a man that may not have had any children, and you wanted to adopt a child or so that's in the adoption system, hats off to you, and I'm greatly sure that God will bless you for doing that, because it is an absolutely awesome responsibility to adopt and raise a child. And once you adopt a child, now you are considered by the state to be their father or their mother. So it's an excellent thing when you're trying to pull somebody out of the adoption system. It helps you out from being lonely, but then at the same time, it also helps that kid out tremendously, because kids need love, or some kids have been in the adoption system to the point to where they're now teenagers. So they still need love. They still need attention. They still need affection. So it's a good thing from that standpoint. So, but then also too, another reason why it's very, very good from the standpoint of adopting someone's child. Say, for instance, there are situations where there may be a family member may be having financial problems. Family member may come along and adopt their child or children. Or you may have a situation where the mother or father of a child that they're taking care of may have a drug problem. If they have a drug problem, we already know that's going to be a bad situation. So it is a great and extremely honorable thing for a man or for a woman to adopt a child, especially if it's a child of your own family, one of your brothers or sisters, or whoever in the family, or maybe even a friend, and it's a very, very good thing. And God will bless you tremendously by doing that, because it is an absolutely awesome responsibility to do that. So in those particular instances where someone is adopting a child to get them out of the system, or helping a friend or family member who may not have the finances to be able to take care of a child, or a friend or family member that may have a drug problem or some other problems along those particular lines, where the child is not getting the proper love, attention, and affection, it is absolutely an excellent thing to do to adopt a child. So that's very, very good thing. And like I stated before, that God will bless you tremendously for doing that, because it takes a lot of money to raise a child. On average, to raise a child from 0 to 18 years old is a little bit over $300,000. And so knowing that you are taking on the financial pressure of adopting someone's child, but at the same time too, like I said before, God will bless you in that aspect. Now, in those particular situations, I am all for the adoption process. All for it, male or female, whoever is adopting the person, I'm all for it. But there is a problem. I know you're probably saying, uh-oh. There is a problem when there is a woman, usually, that may want her boyfriend or may want her husband to adopt her children. Now, the boyfriend or the husband that she wants to adopt her children, the children's father is still around. the children's father is still around. The children's father is not dead. Now the father might be in jail. He might be in jail. He might be in prison. I understand those things. That the person might be in jail. The person might be in prison, but their father still exists. So sometimes a woman may want the boyfriend or the new husband to adopt her children by another man. If the father exists, why are you adopting someone else's child? Many times a woman may want the boyfriend or a husband to adopt her children by another man because the new husband or the new boyfriend may be very well to do financially, may have a whole lot going on in their life, may have always been a responsible person. And now that particular woman wants the new husband or wants the new boyfriend to take on the complete responsibility of the father that already exists. So I'm not saying about her father's children died. No, the father's children are still around. They might be in the neighborhood, or the father's children, the father of the children might be in jail or might be in prison. Well, that's not the new man's problem. That's not the new man. Well, that's not the new man's problem. That's not the new husband's problem, because the father of those children still exists. So if you're a man and a woman wants you to adopt her children, it's only because you're more responsible. And of course, you make more money than the guy that got her pregnant or the guys that got the woman pregnant. Because nowadays there's some ladies that may have a number of children and they have different fathers. So my thing is, why would you take on that responsibility when the fathers are already existing? See, one thing that you have to understand that's extremely, extremely important is that once you adopt those children, those one or two children or more, once you adopt those children, they're yours. They are yours, and they will be your financial responsibility. Let me say that again. Those children are going to be yours, and you are going to have to take care of all of the financial responsibility of the children that you adopt, even if the father is still out there. So I'm saying, if you sign the paperwork stating that child, that you're adopting that child is now your financial responsibility instead of the father of the children. And like I stated before, from 0 to 18 years old, it takes over $300,000 per child. That's up to 18. $300,000 per child. So if the lady has 2 children and they're like under 5 years old, that's 300,000 times 2. So if you adopt her 2 children, whether it's a boyfriend or whether it's a husband, you adopt those 2 children, you're taking on $600,000 worth of debt. Because once you sign that paperwork, those children are now your financial responsibility. You. How else does this affect you? I'm going to tell you how else it affects you. It affects you from the standpoint that if the woman decides to divorce you, and nowadays 80% of divorces are initiated by the wife. 80% of divorces are initiated. 80% of divorces are started by the wife. So if the wife decides to just up one day and just leave you, since 80% of divorces are started by the wife, and in some states like California and some states like Texas, it's up to 90% of women that are initiating divorces. So let's say that you went ahead and adopted her 2 children, $600,000 worth of debt. You adopted her 2 children. She comes home one day and says, I don't want to be married no more. She wants a divorce. Okay. Well, she leaves you. She takes the kids. You will be getting the child support bill because you adopted her 2 children. Let me say that again. You will be getting the child support bill because you signed the paperwork to adopt her children. Now, regardless of the fact that whether the children's real father is still in the picture or somewhere, since you signed that paperwork, you are responsible for the financial obligation to those children. So this is something that you need to take in consideration, especially since 80 to 90% of divorces are initiated, are started by the wife. So when she leaves, you'll be the one getting the bill instead of the original father of the children. So this is something that you need to take in consideration tremendously. This is something that you need to be taken in consideration tremendously if it's in the best of your interest to adopt a woman's children. Now, anyway, I said what I have to say for today, something that you really need to think about. So please like, please share, and please subscribe to this channel. Peace.